Pleasant day again, guys. This is Kevin Sandy coming to you again, and we're talking about what is happening to our youths and how can we help our youths. More than that, I want to help you, teacher, parent, youth worker, to help our youths to really get them over that challenge that they're going through, the complaints, the challenges, the frustrations, the stress of trying to deal with today's youths, the 21st century driven youths. We have spoken about influencing, we have spoken about questions to ask, the different challenges that we can have when we're dealing with our youths, trying to get them to think, trying to get them to move, trying to get them to change, trying to get them to see, what is happening to them, their future, and that sort of thing. Today actually this week and next week, starting this week, next week, we're going to look at some complaints and perspectives of parents, perspectives and complaints of teachers, you yourselves, like yourself, who are complaining and have challenges. And what I've received, of course, some places I have to hide the names. Some people allow me to share their names, and that's good. Thank God for that. And then we have, of course, complaints from youth workers, social workers, and so forth. Questions they have, complaints that they have, and what's really happening. So today we're going to look at the perspective, and of course at the end we're going to look at the perspective of the youths themselves. What are you saying? What are their complaints? Why are they interacting the way they are? Right? Today we're going to look at the parents, right? What is happening? What are parents saying? Right? So let's start with this one. One parent is saying, I feel like I have no control over my child's behavior, right? No matter what I try. So this parent is expressing the frustration at the perceived inability to influence or to change their child's behavior despite their best effort, right? So they're feeling powerless, hopeless. And that's really true. That's really, really happening. The powerlessness really escalates when you're trying too hard. And the thing about it is that as a parent, you want to control. You want to be in charge of your home, of your environment, your surroundings. Of course, we talked before about putting down ground rules. You as a parent have the authority to put down ground rules for your home, right? You're the authority in your home. And there's an age where a child really have to obey you or leave. Of course, based upon the age, you don't use capital punishment, but you must put some disciplinary parameters. They can't get certain things done if they're not, if they don't comply. For example, grounding the child. The child mustn't be able to use their phone or their laptop, things like that. Once you are the one who bought it, right? But they mustn't be able to do that living in your home. You have to put the ground rules down, right? If the ground rules aren't followed, you have consequences. The consequences could include the police. It could include the prison. I remember one of my fathers, what he did. One of my adopted fathers. Before I was on the scene, the boys who were living in the home were really misbehaving. And the story was actually told to me because I wasn't really there. And what they said is that daddy carried them in the prison. He carried them in the prison and locked the door. Tell them, this is where you'll end up. Spend some time here with the prisoners. This is where you'll end up. You got access to be able to do it, right? This is where you'll end up if you don't behave yourself. Right? He was trying to show them the future. And here was happening. Those guys buck up. Those guys changed. New person, new character, new personality, everything, right? After that experience. So you have to have the authorities on your side, all right? If my child is not behaving or is not following what I'm saying, can I bring him to you for you to deal with him, right? And of course, there are other authorities. Because you are the authority in your home, not the child. And you have to be able to exercise that authority. So they would have to move, right? Get them to the authorities. Another one complaints I have is I'm terrified that my child's behavior will ruin their future. Terrified. So this parent is expressing deep-seated fear. They're saying they're fearful that the long-term consequences of their child's troublesome behavior could lead to serious danger in the future. So they're concerned about the academic, more than just academic failure. They're thinking about legal problems, struggling with relationships and employment and stuff. You know, that they wouldn't be able to survive in life, right? They're fearful of that, and that is real. I would say to your parent, your fear is real. Your fear is real. It is really, really challenging to be able to see that coming, because you know the future. You're an adult, and you can't change what they do. And maybe one thing is to carry them to different places and show them the future. As I said, one example is carry them and show them what the prison is like. What living, show them some adults who are living as vagrants. Show them, hey, this is the future. If you don't buck up, if you don't take charge, if you don't change, right? But you need to be able to show them their future, right? Another complaint we have is from a parent is, it feels like our family is falling apart, right? Because of my child's behavior. You see what's happening there? The child's behavior is stressing out the whole family, not just them, not just the parent alone, right? So parents lament the strain that the child's behavior puts on the family dynamic, right? And of course, this leads to conflict, tension, disrupted relationships among the family members, because it means you might be trying to focus on helping one child and neglecting the others. But you have to show some reward system helps. You show the reward system for the other children, but the other child can't get the rewards because, they misbehavior. That helps. That helps. Reward system helps with that. But of course, we could talk about more things because each situation is specific. Here's another complaint. I can't stop worrying what my child is doing or where they are. As a parent, that's very challenging to stop worrying because it's your child. There's an emotional bond and attachment. That's very challenging, right? So as a parent, you're expressing heightened anxiety, right? Anxiety, constant worry about your child's safety because you're interested in their well-being. You are not just interested, you are attached and deeply concerned about their well-being, their whereabouts, And of course, this is leading to persistent stress, sleepless nights, right? Especially if your child is hanging out late. But as I said, you have to put ground rules down. You have to put ground rules on. If it will help, you bring the authority in and put the ground rule down. One of the challenge that, as I said before in one of the videos, is that we don't realize the power that community had on bringing up a child. That's what used to happen 50, 60, 100 years ago. The community brought up the child, not just you. So you have to bring in the authority, bring the police and say, here what's happening. Put the child sit down in front of the authority, in front of the police, in front of whatever authority, in front even of a youth worker or the children agency. Bring them, let them sit down with the child. Hey, this is what my child is doing, and I'm concerned about my child's behavior. What can I do? If this doesn't change, can I bring him to you? Can I bring her to you? Because this is my rules in my house. You cannot stay out a certain time. I'm not gonna allow this, right? So bring them into. So you see what happens is that you're taking in front. You're bringing them in the beginning, not after something happens, but in the beginning, right? Let the police department know. Hey, I want all of you to help me bring up my child. Yeah, let it be known. I want all of this whole department to help me bring up my child. Carry the child in the police station if you have to, right? And when the child is missing, you call the police. Hey, so and so is out. That means something could be happening to the child. Please find my child. As a matter of fact, if you did it before, they will find it a partnership to bring you to work with you to find your child and to take the child. Say, take the child to the jail for the night. Let them stay there for the night. Don't joke with it, because you're trying to protect the child from down the road, from the future. You're trying to protect your child, right? It's okay for the child to sit in jail just for not being home. But because, let me tell you something, even as small as it is, you're thinking that you're damaging the child's future for job. Let me tell you something. what is happening to them could be worse than just letting them sit in the jail for the night. Yeah? It could be worse. So you're trying to protect the child from something worse happening. All right? You got to take the bull by the horn. Here's the next one. We are struggling to afford the expenses related to a child's behavior. So parents are experiencing financial strain caused by expenses such as therapy, counseling, legal issues, legal fees, damages resulting from the child, whether they're stealing or whatever it is, existing financial challenges. I mean, serious strain. So the child, if one child is depriving everybody from enjoying peace and harmony, from enjoying abundance. That should not be. That is very challenging for a parent. You know, you have a certain amount of money, you're trying to make ends meet, you're trying to put food on the table, you're trying to get them transport to go to school. It could be very disheartening to see you are trying so hard, yet your child doesn't respect or even appreciate you, you know, and the work that you're doing to help them. That could be very, very damaging to you, as opposed to because your worry, your stress escalates, right? When it affects the whole family. Well, I really could appeal to that. Here's another one. Other parents just don't understand what we're going through. And this is because this parent is feeling isolated, they're feeling alone, they're feeling also as if other parents are judging them because of the behavior of their children. Right? They feel judged. This includes, of course, friends, families, different people, members of colleagues of a job and so forth, professionals. They lack the empathy, and you see this misunderstanding is because they're not involved in the child's in your rearing of the child, in raising the child. Parents, here's what. Let me tell you something, parents. It's okay to admit, I don't know everything. I'm not a perfect parent. It's okay to admit that. I want to get you to understand this. It's okay to admit. No parent is perfect. Not even the ones who pretend that they're perfect. Talk to their children. Talk to their children. Now, some I remember once this child will say how wonderful my parent is and what the child does, when the parent does for me. And you know something? The parent is actually spoiling the child. No discipline, no correction. The child could do what they want, stay up how late they want, get whatever they want, anything they want, anytime. And for the child, as far as the child is concerned, wow, this is the best parent in the world. No, it's not. Because you are actually setting up your child to be a freeloader, to be selfish. You're actually setting up your child to think that everything runs on them or the world revolves around them. Yeah. So those parents who think that they're perfect, they're not. So let me give you a little consolation, parent. It's okay if they're misunderstanding you or if they're judging you. But just understand, they're not perfect either. All right? None of us are perfect parents. God is trying his best with us. And we messing up. All right? So what it does, it leaves the avenue now for parents to collaborate together and work together to bring up their children. That's what needed. As I said before, the community brings up the child. That's what used to happen. And that's what's needed. The community bring up the children. All right? So you don't have to do it alone. Okay? Here's another complaint. I feel like I failed as a parent. All of us have failed. All of us have failed. And you know what? We're going to fail sometimes. But it doesn't mean we are failing parents. We will fail in some aspects. It's like going through school, you will fail some tests. But at the end, the exam, to pass the final exam, you might pass that whole thing. In other words, you can lose some battles, but you win the war. And the only time you will really know if you're a failed parent is what happens to your child as an adult. That is the only time you'll really know. So don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. I know that you could feel like if you're struggling, if you're overwhelmed with feeling of guilt and feeling of self-blame, right? You're questioning your own parenting ability and wondering, oh boy, and if I could do something differently. All of us can do something differently, right? To prevent child's troublesome behavior. All of us. No, there is no perfect parent on the planet. Just get that. All of us wish there was something else we could do, you know? Um, Sometimes when I have challenges with my son and I sometimes forget to listen, it's because I'm emotionally attached to him, that when he says something or he's trying to talk about a situation or scenario, what happens is I might try to jump in to stop it fast because I'm so afraid of what he will do, or that if he will take that action or something that is going to set him up and damage him down the road, or somebody's going to take advantage of him, because I'm emotionally attached to him. And I have to remember, oh, wait, listen, let me finish the story. And sometimes he will tell me that, just listen, just listen. And I say, okay, yeah, let me just listen. Sometimes it's challenging because of the emotional connection, You're afraid that something happened to him. So those are issues that happen. We all make mistakes. We all would make mistakes as a parent, but we try our best, right? In fact, just a week or two ago, my son apologized to me for things that he did, for the way he responded to me and so forth. I was like, wow, look at that. You see, I didn't see that. That come out of the blue, right? I didn't see that. I didn't expect that at all. So that happens, but just follow the principles. You bring up the child the way they should go, which includes both moral and giftedness, right? This upon God's revelation to you about their purpose and what this child is and who this child is and what they're supposed to be. You do your best, right? But you will make mistake. All of us will make mistake, right? But you try your best and you correct it, you apologize, and you move on, all right? But you don't apologize for correcting wrong behavior. You don't apologize for that. You don't apologize for following God's principles. No, you don't apologize for that because you're right. Okay. Here's another complaint I have. It's so hard to find help and support when we need it most. And a lot of parents, because we are trying to bring up our children alone, that is so true, right? You might feel you are expressing frustration because of the lack of accessible or effective support, support services, whether it's from different government agencies, from security organizations. You want resources available to assist them in, to address your child's behavior. And because you don't have that, it makes you more stressed out, makes you feel isolated. Hey, connect with friends that you're working with. Start opening up. Working with, if you're part of a social group, church group, open up. Let's start sharing together as parents and communicating with each other. So we're not isolated. Let me tell you something. Everybody's struggling somewhere as a parent. Those who say they're not struggling, it's a lie. Don't believe it. Those who say they have it perfect, don't believe it. Total lie. Don't believe it for a second. Move on. Next. Right? But let me tell you something. A lot of us have that challenge. That's why we need each other as parents. Okay? Here's another complaint. I can't remember the last time I had a moment to myself to relax. Wow. And this parent is expressing exhaustion and burnout, right? From the constant demands of dealing with, their child. And in doing that, they're also neglecting maybe their own self or even the well-being of the other children in the house, This could be very challenging, right? When last did you find a time for yourself? Because the constant battles and conflicts, it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming. It could have your attention. You can't even do things properly that you want to be able to do for yourself or even for the family because of this child who is misbehaving and causing havoc. All right. That is why it's so important to have that support system. Really important to have that support system, so that you can collaborate with each other. You can give each other a time frame. Here's a nice one. You have what you call something called shared parenting, where as a group or as a group, what you do is that you get all your children to go by one parent for a movie night. And in that parent's house, you have two sets of parents there managing the children of maybe four households. And you let the other two go and have a night out. That is so good, right? You give the other two parents the authority to manage your child. Parents who you can trust. You must find people you can trust. All right. And then you just reverse it next weekend. Right? Right. You give the other two a timeout and that sort of thing. Right? They can go their separate ways, they can go together as a double date night, whatever it is. But you must do something like that to help, because you can't find time to relax if you don't support, if you don't have that support system. I understand that. You must have that support system. Very, very important. And there are other things that you can do. Just let's communicate and let's share with each other, right? Now, some parents have been able to giving me permission to share their name, and I'll talk about it, right? Like Sarah, mom of a teen with anger issues, right? And Sarah says, it feels like I'm walking on eggshells all the time, never knowing what mood he'll be in or what he'll do next. It's exhausting. Now, that's not right for a parent to be walking on eggshells. If you are Sarah, let me tell you something. This is very challenging. It's very frustrating. It's very exhausting. So, here's what you need to do, Sarah. You need to come to the point to realize that you are the authority in your home. Not the slave, not the child. You are the authority. If your child is controlling the scenario, then definitely it's going to exhaust you. So what you need to do, you need to get guidance. Meet with me. Let's go through the process. You can even organize a meeting with both you and your son. All right? And let's go through the process to get back your authority. I will also encourage you to meet with somebody of say community police or children authority, to sit with your son, you and your son, to put down ground rules in your home. That's basically what we're going at. We're going to the place of put down ground rules in your home. How the home is supposed to be managed based upon your perspective, not your son's perspective, based upon your perspective. You are the authority. So let's meet. Let's meet and deal with this, because this is very disheartening. All right? I feel your pain, Sarah. I feel your pain. All right? John, a father of a child with substance abuse problems. And John is saying, I see the pain in his eyes, the struggle he's going through, and it tears me apart. But I can't fix it. That's what John is saying. John is saying he cannot fix it. And that helplessness is killing John. His helplessness. Can't fix it. John, you're right. You cannot fix it. But there are people who can fix it. There are people who have the expertise in fixing those things. Substance abuse. If you can't fix it, don't go there. Get the people who are capable of this. Bring them to your son. Let them guide you in putting down the ground rules, the structures. Even if it means taking him into rehab. Even if it means calling the police to take him into rehab. You're protecting your child from a worse danger down the road. All right, John? You're protecting your child from danger that's worse down the road. So, you need to either meet with me or meet with somebody of authority to help you put down the structures in your home, the ground rules. Your child needs to be in rehab, very possibly, but you bring in the people of authority who knows, children's authority, who knows how to assess the situation and know what is needed. They're actually better equipped. If you have to call in the police to help, call the police to help, because you need support. You need a system to deal with this, to protect your child from worse danger down the road. All right? Thanks, John, for sharing. Maria. Maria is a mother of a child who dropped out of school. And she said, I feel like I've lost my child somewhere along the way. There is stranger to me now, and it hurts so much. Wow, Maria, that is very painful. That is very painful, Maria. It hurts because you love your child and you don't know who is this person. You're wondering, who is this person that you have brought up, that you have tried so hard and so many things to help. Yet it's like you don't know who is this person in your home. That relationship is hurting, was damaged, is severed. It's severed, but it can be mended. It can be mended. Maria, sorry. It can be mended. So Maria, let's meet. Let's meet to go through some processes, how we can mend this relationship, you and your child. All right? But it can be done. Okay? David is a father of a child involved in petty crime. And David is saying, I worry every day about his future, about him getting hurt and ending up in jail. It's a constant fear that grows and gnaws at me. That's what David is saying. It's a constant fear. David, if your son is still involved in petty crime, you need to put down ground rules. You need to put down some systems in place. You need to develop character. And that character will involve getting your child involved in character development activities. You can meet with me. Let's talk about some character development activities to show what can be done. All right? But it can be done. It can be done. It has been done. It's nothing new, and it can be done. Right? Yes, if you leave it like that, he's going to end up in jail. Yeah. Or worse. So you don't want to get that going so far. So let's meet. Let's talk about it because there are ways to get around this. Okay. All right. Lisa is the next complaint. Lisa, who is a mom of a child with mental health issues. And you know, I used to dream, she said, I used to dream of their graduation, their wedding, their happy life. Now she just prays to make it through each day. Lisa, wow, this is challenging. This is challenging. But you don't have to do it alone. There are experts to help deal with this. You can start by working with, go to YouTube and look for a lady called Caroline Leaf. Leaf. Caroline Leaf. Dr. Caroline Leaf. She helps with that. Right? Get her material, start reading it, start studying it, start looking at it. She helps a lot with those things. All right? But you're not alone. Right? Connect with me. Let's see what we can do together. And of course, there are people in other spheres that can help as well. All right? We can work with the Spirit of God to help deliver this child from the mental issues. They don't have to live with it. Mental issue is not a permanent situation. None of it is. It can be reversed. All of them. All right? I'm telling you. All of them can be reversed. Okay, Lisa? So, there is still hope for your child. All right? You can still enjoy the dreams of graduation. You can still enjoy the dreams of the wedding and the happy life. You can. All right? Let's work on it. All right? Emily is a mother of a child with learning disabilities. And these are not the child is doing something deliberate, but learning disabilities. All right? And that's something we can work with. Right? And Lisa is saying the judgment from others is almost unbearable. I mean, that's so petty. Why are you judging her? This is not her fault. They are learning disabilities. A lot of us are born with learning disabilities, right? And she's saying that, Emily is saying that people whisper, right? They point fingers and it makes her feel like a failure. Emily, you're not a failure. You're not a failure. Here what's happening. We can reverse this even to become a blessing. It can be reversed to become a blessing. Right now you feel judged. Right now you feel like a failure. And it hurts. And you don't know what to do. You're lost. You feel hopeless. You don't know what to do, where to turn. There is a way out. There is a way around all of this. Okay, Emily? So your child's disability is not new. It's not different from a lot of people. A lot of people have learning disabilities. But there are ways to deal with it. Right? Even I was mentioning before to Lisa, for example, Dr. Caroline Leaf help with a lot of these things, how to help children learn, even with learning disabilities, how to get over it, No learning disability is permanent. And even those that are permanent, you can help the child learn better. Do you know that Michael Phelps, right? One of the greatest Olympian in swimming and so forth, has a learning disability. Yeah, Michael Phelps. But look at that. World champion, Olympic champion. All right. So there are ways to get it done. All right, Emily. So don't be afraid. There is hope. Let's work on it together. Contact me. Let's see what we can do. All right. And who else I can put you on to help. Okay. All right. Mark. Mark is a father of a child with ADHD. Right. And Mark is saying, I'm constantly juggling therapy appointments, doctor visits, school meetings. And Mark is saying, I feel like I have no time for myself. And my other children, or even my partner, right, is neglected. Wow. I'm so sorry, Mark. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Mark, you're not alone. ADHD is not a permanent destruction. Right? As a matter of fact, what a lot of people are calling ADHD, like I was mentioning to Emily, Michael Phelps has ADHD. A lot of people don't know how to get around it, but there are ways to get around it. Right? There's simple ways to get around it. Let's connect. There are ways to get over this. What is nice is that you have other children that can help, and you also have a partner that can help in the process. So let's work on it together. Right? What you're doing is that you're outing fires. But what we can do is go to the source, the learning challenge, and help the child focus through the learning challenge. So even the child benefits. All right? A lot of people don't know how to deal with ADHD. Right? And most of the things that they're calling ADHD is actually temporary, it's not permanent. Okay? So let's work on it. Right? Sometimes it's something the child is doing that's causing it, and we need to remove the cause, the root cause. And a lot of times we just need to know where to focus the child so that they're able to get through the day and actually help you relax yourself. So you can actually have time for yourself. All right, Mark? So let's talk about it. All right, Suzanne. Suzanne is a mother of a child with self-harm tendencies. People are cutting themselves and that sort of thing, or damaging themselves, which can lead to worse situations, right? And Susan is saying, I've tried everything, counseling, support groups, medication, but nothing seems to work. And I feel like I'm drowning. Wow. Susan, yeah, that feels like drowning. That feels like you're gulping for air and don't know what else to do. The Spirit of God is so powerful that He knows everything about everyone. That's the beauty about it. He knows the secret things that you don't know about. So getting the Holy Spirit to guide you, to reveal to you what is happening and what's the cause, helps with this problem. Because you said you have tried everything. Have you tried the Spirit of God? Have you tried and encountered with the Spirit of God and listening for His teaching and His guidance as God guides you what to do? You see, our Heavenly Father knows what we need even before we ask of Him. That's what's wonderful about Him. He knows our thoughts are far off. Even while we are thinking and trying to make up our minds, He knows the thoughts. And His Spirit is able to reveal to us everything. The source, the deep things that we don't know about. He's able to reveal them. So let's connect together and let's work by trying the Spirit of God. The one who is the greatest teacher in the universe. The wisest counselor or consultant, mentor, trainer in the universe. Let's try him. See what happens. All right, Suzanne? Here's Michael. Michael is a father of a child with behavioral problems. And Michael is saying, I'm afraid to reach out for help because I don't want to be judged or have my children taken away. So I just bottle it up inside. Michael, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that others are judging you. If others are judging you as well, already, because you're saying you're afraid to reach out because you don't want people to judge you. Are others judging you? Have you experienced that for sure? Or this is just something that you think will happen? How are you so sure you'll be judged? Have you reached out to the right persons, Michael? Who have you spoken to? Who have you asked for help? Sometimes that's a challenge. We don't know who to ask for help, right? Bottling up inside will actually, it's like a catalyst. It fuels the fire of the child's behavior, because one day you're gonna explode and it's gonna be worse. So you have two options. You can keep bottling it up, and when you explode, make it worse, because you will explode. Your being, your body and your soul and thing can only take so much. You can't handle stress at that certain levels. You're gonna do something bad, something crazy. So that's that option. Or you open it up, take the risk of being judged, but get the problem resolved, so that the judgment eventually turn around to applause, because that's what will happen. Yeah, might get judged for a while, maybe, but when the problem is resolved and you have an exemplary child, it's going to be applaud. It's going to be celebration, right? If you take the right steps, it can be done. It can be done. So you have two options here: the risk of being judged, but getting the applause down the road, or make things worse for your child and yourself. Because that's what's going to happen if you remain where you are. Okay? So let's work on it together. Okay, Michael? I hope this helps. All right. So that's it for today. Some complaints from parents and how we can help parents to resolve the issue of living with frustrated children, behavioral problems with children, the stress that they're bringing on, how we can get it relieved. The Spirit of God is able to do everything. Everything that we ask Him to help Him with, He's able to guide us in everything we ask Him with. Once we are willing to follow the principles, once we're willing to obey the instructions, the guidance, right? It's like learning, right? You're learning from the best teacher. So let's connect, let's meet together, and let's see how we can help each other become better parents and create a better society, transforming youths, frustrated youths, challenging youths involved in crime, drugs, harming themselves, and stressing out others. That's how we could transform and influence those youths to become royalty, righteous, respectful, responsible leaders, right? For the future. Okay? Let's work together. And I hope this helped you as a parent. Next episode, we're going to look at complaints from teachers and how we can help teachers with the complaints that they have with their youths, with their students.